All right, guys, just a quick coaching video today, and I want to talk about something that's really important and needs to be said, and that is, are you on your purpose now, and have you remained on your purpose since New Year? And the reason I want to talk about this is I think this is important is because, look, New Year's Day, I felt really positive. I woke up and I was like, yeah, this is great, 2023, new year, new me, new you, let's crack on, let's get on with this. And perhaps you did as well. Now, as I've discussed in a previous video, this whole thing about, there is this argument of like, well, why should New Year be special? It's just another day, blah, 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 which is sort of true. But look, I mean, I think all of us, if we're honest with ourselves, get that kind of shot of sense of like, right, this is a new year, this is a new leaf, I can turn the corner, I can get the stuff that I want to get. Okay, I can have the kind of year that I want to have. I can start to correct maybe some of the mistakes that I've made and start to do things a bit differently, and it's a fresh start. It does really feel like that, okay? Which is all great. I mean, it's all great. There's nothing wrong with any of that stuff, except that, are you actually remaining on your purpose or not, okay? And if you're not, then why not? And also, it's time to course correct, okay? So, what do I mean by that? Well, I started off the year, and I reckon actually, if you look at this channel, I think we've had a pretty good start to the year. Don't you think, guys? Videos every day, some good content, some good walking videos, and so on and so forth. I think it's been a pretty strong start to the year, okay? But it's easy to start to lose momentum a little bit after you've made a decision to do things differently, or you've made a decision to shake things up a bit, okay? You can have that first flush of enthusiasm. It's a bit like if you want to take up a sport. It's a bit like, oh yeah, I'm going to do jiu-jitsu, or I'm going to do Muay Thai, or whatever. And you have that first flush of like enthusiasm of like, yeah, this is going to be amazing, this is great. And then you kind of start doing it, and then life gets in the way. Maybe you get a little bit ill, or something happens and you sort of get a little bit discouraged, and then you're just like, oh yeah, okay, and you kind of lose that momentum, you stop doing the necessary actions, and it all starts to go downhill a little bit. This is what we must avoid going into 2023. We're nearly a week in now, it's the 6th of January, okay? So you've got to think, okay, am I maintaining that momentum that I had as we started the year? Am I being true to my inner self? Am I, doing the things necessary in order to get to the goals that I have? Or are the signs there that this is going to start to slide a little bit? Is this going to start to go downhill a little bit? Okay, and if it's the latter, then you need to course correct, all right? So how do you course correct? Well, basically, quite simply, the thing that's going to save you, and the thing that's going to save all of us, is having a strong enough why, okay? Having a strong enough focus on our goals and why we want those goals, okay? So if your goal is, well, I want to find a girlfriend, okay, great. Why do you want to find a girlfriend? Okay, do the 5 whys exercise. Ask yourself 5 times, why do I want this thing? Why? Really get down to the bottom of why it is that you want this particular outcome, whether it's to get a girlfriend, or to date non-exclusively, or to be in a menage a trois, or whatever the hell it is, all right, in terms of your personal life. It doesn't really matter. You've got to just be super strong on that why, and super strong on having that end game, all right? I was listening to a audiobook recently, and the author was using the example of, if you were in the desert, say you were thirsty, you had nothing to drink, you're in the desert, you really, really need water, and there's a guy with a couple of bottles of water who just appears in front of you, okay? You're going to do anything it takes in order to get that water, right? I mean, like, I think we can all appreciate that. I think we can all see that for ourselves. You're not just going to go, oh mate, yeah, can I have some water please? And he says, nah, sorry mate. And you're like, okay, fair enough, no worries. You're going to do anything within your capabilities in order to get some of that water, because you're going to have to, all right? Because the why is strong enough. Well, it's the same with all these other areas in your life. It's the same with the dating stuff. It's the same with the work stuff. It's the same with building a business, or making more money, or having a better network, or your travel goals, or your spiritual goals, whatever it is. You've got to really, really want the thing, okay? And I think what tends to happen is that we start out, we really want certain things. We all want a thing, whether it's I want to have a girlfriend, or I want to have a successful business, or I want to make 100k a month, or whatever it is. We in theory, we want those things, but then we tend to get satiated on good enough, okay? So good enough might be, well, I watch naughty videos every night, so that satiates me as far as my intimate goals are concerned, okay? Or it might be something like, well, yeah, I'm in this job and I'm getting paid, you know, decent salary. It's not, I'm not a multi-millionaire, but, you know, I can go on holiday a couple of times a year. That's good enough, okay? Or it might be, yeah, you know, I'm sort of, my fitness isn't amazing, but it's all right. It's decent, you know, it's not bad. It's good enough, okay? And the trap of good enough is what we need to escape from. We need to get you from good enough to extraordinary. And rest assured, the extraordinary life is available to you, okay? It really, really is, whether that's in terms of dating or it's in terms of business or any of these other areas that I've mentioned. The extraordinary is within your grasp, because if other people have done it, then so can you. But you have to keep your end game in mind, okay? And then you have to figure out from that, okay, so my end game is to make 100K a month. All right, so what do I need to do realistically, you know, in order to get there? What are the small steps that I will need to take in order to hope to get to that goal, okay? And then you need to ensure that you're actually doing those things, all right? You know, it's very, very simple. So if you want to have a prolific dating life, let's say, then obviously you're going to have to speak to a lot of different women, okay? You're going to have to go out and socialize. You're going to have to put yourself out there, okay? If you're saying, well, yeah, I want to have this super prolific dating life, and then you're sitting at home watching Netflix and eating Cheetos, then, you know, it stands to reason that you're not going to get that thing you want. But the way that you get yourself, and people sometimes ask me, well, how do I motivate myself? And the way that you motivate yourself, okay, the way that you motivate yourself is by really wanting that thing, you know? Because it's like, I'm going to turn around again now. It's like the guy in the desert who wants the water. If you really, really want that thing, then you're going to do whatever it takes in order to get it. If you kind of want that thing, but, you know, you're not bothered, and actually, you know, X Factor's on tonight, so I'll just sit at home, thank you very much, then you're not going to get the thing that you want. So we have to firstly identify what the goals are. That's super important. Then we have to eliminate all other avenues of getting something like that goal. And I guess what I'm talking about here, we'll do another video on this, but I guess what we're kind of talking about here is almost like a burning your boat syndrome, or burning your boat strategy, really, which is to say that, look, I mean, you've got to, you know, if there's some sort of other outlet for you, which is good enough, you want to eliminate that outlet. So you've got to go for the end goal. You've got to go for that thing that you really want. And then you've got to break it down into individual tasks. All right, so how am I going to get there? And then you've got to do those things on a consistent basis, okay? So if you feel like you come into this year and you're losing momentum, or you started with good intentions and now it's not quite, you know, where you want to be, or you feel you're waving off track, it's fine. You know, forgive yourself. You don't have to beat yourself up, but you've got to think, right, what is it I actually want? How am I going to get there? Am I sticking to the script or not? Okay. Now, if you would like to talk to me about your own goals in terms of particularly the dating stuff or the relationship stuff or whatever, you can drop me an email, troy@realtroyfrancis.com, and we can get on the phone and have a chat. Or you can book a call with me on the Calendly link below. And again, we can have a conversation and see if I can, you know, what strategy we can put in place and how I can help you. Okay. The other thing I wanted to do today is just give a shout out for my Patreon. There is a link for that below. You can support the channel, which is not monetized. You can support the channel on Patreon. It's only a $5 per month, so it's absolutely nothing. You get to support the channel, and also you get to ask questions which can get made into videos like this, okay? So, hope this has been helpful. Hope this has been motivational. I'm in sunny London. It's a wonderful evening. I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Bye-bye.